Hello, everyone. I'm JeanClaude BeyondMystic, and welcome to this special report today, Saturday, January 29, the Siege of Ottawa, the Freedom Convoy special updates with my co-host, of course, Janine. You can find her at Ascending Ravens here on YouTube and also at Tarot by Janine. Janine, welcome back to the show.
Hey, hi, everybody. Hi, Jean-Claude.
How's it going?
Oh, I couldn't sleep very good. I was too excited.
I haven't slept all night either.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's so much energy going on. Even now, I'm boiling hot. For some reason, all of the energy is hitting me at the same time. And I'm seeing all of these gazillion emails come through. And on that note, folks, if you bought a pay-per-view and you have a pay-per-view customer support email in the queue, I'm so behind. So please bear with me. It might take a few days or two to get back on track. I've just overloaded with emails in the last 2 days because of all of these events here and the production schedule being off the chart. So please bear with me on the emails. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here today on this live interactive show. Janine and I are going to do our level best to try to report to you everything that's going on. We know, in fact, that most of this, for the time being, has not been reported on mainstream news. And this is Janine and I's effort to try to bring all of this back to you so that you can share it with your friends and family who might not have the skill set right now to move away from mainstream media and to look at alternative sources to figure out really the truth of the reality. So a big thank you to everyone. Please do share these videos. And I want to start with last night, Janine. We produced this episode, the first one of this series here, Siege of Ottawa, with Julie and yourself. And what was interesting there, let me bring that on the screen. What was interesting there, you talked about the fact that in the cards, there could be some type of event that would try to thwart this, put a bad light on the truckers. Of course, here on YouTube land, we call those FF events. And apparently that's already happening. We're seeing that crumble as we speak. Can you just recount for the audience here what the cards were picking up last night? And then I'll bring that specific news story here for the audience. And of course, really good news that we're catching these early on here. Go ahead, Janine.
Yeah, it did look in the cards like there was a few things they were going to try, but it didn't look like they were going to get, none of them would work because everybody's watching for it and everybody was expecting that. It's like you can fool us once, fool us twice, but yeah, they're not going to do it again. So people are on high alert for those things, and it's been coming out like they've been sort of discovering them.
Mm-hmm.
What they're up to. So we got the playbook too now, so we know what's up. So it didn't look like it was going to work out. There was going to be a few disruptions and holdups because of those things, but none of it would fly.
Mm-hmm.
The guys are not winning this one.
So you tweeted this about 10 hours ago. We knew it. Of course, we got it. It was right there in the cards for us. This is Keen Bexty, the real Keen here, reporting that he had obtained documents that showed that the JT government was using government resources, in fact, here to create this false insurrection type narrative and to paint our truckers and our freedom lovers into a bad light. Now, did you have a chance to watch this coverage or read more on this? What can you share with the audience?
No, I just saw several different not just that, but several different shout outs that this was going on. Mm-hmm. And I think that's how they combated it. They put it everywhere, like mm-hmm. everywhere. People were sending it to me maybe all night.
Right. So let's start here too. Well, that's interesting. And there was also a video and some text documents prepared for the convoy yesterday themselves so that they would know how to try to avoid and spot these perhaps agents provocateurs. So yes, please, everyone, share this with your friends and family who are perhaps in the convoy to make sure not to associate with people they don't know. And if anything looks suspicious, to walk away from that and point that out and point your cameras on them. We need to do that and stay very, very vigilant, and we need to have each other's backs. Now, last night was monumental. Janine, let me bring up this video here. Explain to the audience what we are looking at here.
Yeah, so they did an official flag raising on a truck. So on the back of a truck on one of those, I forget what they're called, big arms.
Yeah, boom trucks.
It was crazy. And you know what's interesting? It was the very same and reminiscent of a certain day in September a long time ago after the towers fell.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing in front of it. Yeah, so it's like they're reclaiming the sacred land sort of thing as ours,
Right.
or the truckers, or the peoples. Let's say this, the peoples, because they're driving for the people. They're there for the people. So the
Right.
people of Canada and or the world are reclaiming this. That's what I got from it anyway.
Mm-hmm. Can you pull some cards here and see if perhaps this particular video clip also could make history moving forward as perhaps that moment where the people, as you just said, reclaimed this country and their own power, because this is what this is all about. We've given our power away to these elites for so long, and now we're in the process of taking it back. So let's ask the cards if this in fact is a historical moment signifying the retaking of our sovereignty.
Yeah, it's like we waited, or really Canadians, they waited and waited, tried to be polite about it, tried to be nice, which to a fault, right? We're really careful. Both of these cards are careful. If you look at it, guys, hanging on to all his insecurities and being really careful. And this card's always very steadfast and careful, and steps very carefully. And this is what we're doing now. So that act was, now we're passionate. You got us riled up. It's kind of like the Australians. They say the same thing about them. They take a long time to get riled up. And once they do, they're not backing down. And this is the card we got yesterday for the truckers going to Ottawa. Like, they're coming in there with passion and intent. This guy's got two swords. He's got a little short sword and a really long one. The long one's for truth and integrity, if he's well aspected, and the short one's for he's willing to fight for what he believes in. So he's got he's totally passionate, intense, and focused. So that's what they're doing now. They've been doing this, but they've been stirred up, and things are going to change. And this is what stirred them up. That was in the background. So this is what stirred them up: lies and deceit. They've realized they've all been lied to, and we're all realizing. I mean, we've been, people watching videos like this, been knowing that for a long time, but some people are just waking up to that. And those might be the people on the sides of the road, and the surprising grannies making muffins for the truckers. And you know what I mean? Because they just woke up to, wait a sec, if these guys are that passionate, there must be something going on. Maybe I was right in my intuition.
Wow, that's fascinating. Let me bring up right now what I'm seeing is very interesting. Also, CTV News here in Ottawa, they're running their live cams. They're actually showing the large groups of people. We hadn't had that in the last couple of days. Most of the media were either ignoring the convoys going through the towns and seeing all the people on the side of the streets.
Yep.
But now apparently that could be shifting as well. What have you been seeing here also in the last 24 hours in terms of media coverage? And then let's ask the cards also if this is a trend that's going to continue now, and perhaps have they been told, or are they doing this on their own, seeing that the writing's on the wall? What's happening here with the mainstream media coverage in the last 24 hours and perhaps in the next couple of days?
Well, I did notice around maybe early this morning, it seemed like webcams were no longer being trying to trick you, right? The webcams around Ottawa seemed to be more of them on and working. Okay, and which was surprising, because we know that yesterday and the day before they'd had them all diverted and or turned off, or they were actually playing old footage. Wow. Right. Now they're actually letting it. So I guess that something changed there, but let's have a look.
Okay. And folks, while we're at it also, please do go and join Janine here on her Telegram. She is broadcasting many things here over the last couple of days on this particular news story. Some of these articles and videos and clips are difficult to put on Twitter. So if you're missing part of the content, please follow Janine here at t.me/Tarot by Janine channel. And you can also find me there at BeyondMystic official. Let me see if I can bring this back up on BeyondMystic is the one you're looking for here with the red dot, and official status. We are both reporting there more and more. Go ahead, Jenny.
It looks like they've been either served the riot act or starting to worry that they're, and by not covering it will give them in more trouble than covering it. So they started out, like obviously wanting to fight against it, and now they're starting to get scared. So there's the fear of how big it got, and really, nobody's gonna watch mainstream media, because everyone at this point, if you're even half awake, you're gonna know that's happening. Or if you have any social medias, you're gonna know. I mean, I asked Cash, my son, and I said, how much of that are you seeing? And as a teenage 18-year-old he said, yeah, there's little video clips and TikToks and everywhere. Everybody's talking about it too. So it's everywhere, guys. And if you're not seeing it, then you're literally only on mainstream media. But even they are going to get on board here, because they're going to lose a lot of money. And there was a video that did threaten that to them and said exactly how they do it. This fellow got on there and he said, mainstream media is, all of them are public in the stocks, and we know exactly how to take you down. So you better be covering this.
Right. I have a question on the screen from Ben. Let me see if I can bring this up. He's asking, what about an internet shutdown? Is that in the cards right now? So on one hand, yes, maybe the media have been given the right act, as you say, but is there going to be a higher force maybe trying to prevent all of this from coming up? Because right now, if you look at what's happening in Spain, now in Italy, the convoy is also there, but there is a huge civil war happening in Spain right now, and very little coverage to no coverage in the news over there. So is it possible that the panic will hit a crescendo here to perhaps switch the internet off for everyone?
It's definitely a possibility, and it's a 50-50 chance, and it's still being considered. And my thoughts when I look at this are, it's being considered by a group that's a very unique group who's full of integrity. I mean, I don't know, good guys are working on the behalf of the good guys. So it's not the bad guys going to shut it down. So it's being considered, maybe not just about this, but for other reasons. But I don't feel like it actually ends up happening. Maybe in pockets here and there, but I didn't get any crash cards like you should have the tower there, or the devil and the judgment, something. No, I'm not getting that. I think they're gonna come on board, the mainstream media, instead of crashing the internet. They're actually going to get in line, and because they want to get in on income, and like they're losing their shirts here.
Yeah, I'll get to something about security here on Parliament here in a second. Serbian Mike is saying, hey, I can't find any live feeds for Ottawa cam footage. This one right now is on CTV News. Let me bring you, so kudos to them. We have to give them credit here. Let's bring that link down in the live chat for the audience as well. So that's CTV News. And somebody else was just saying also, Ottawans, yes, Huddle Crypto, let's set up some webcams and throw up the links. Right. So if you're in this neck of the woods, you live in some of the apartments, apartments in the Golden Triangle, please do set up webcams and share those links on your social media so that we can cover this. Because again, if you look at the Corporal Cirillo incidents, all the cam footage was down for maintenance that day. So had we known, we could have probably filmed what was really happening that day. So now that we're here, it is incumbent upon all of us here to try to document this. Okay, so going back to what you were saying, Janine, let me see if I can bring up this next tweet. This one from the Insider paper. Just in, Canada's MPs, sorry, are told to hide from anti-vaccine trucker convoy by Parliament security chief. Whoa. Okay, this is starting to sound a lot like some of the predictions that Cliff High was making 2 weeks ago. So did you hear this, first of all? What's your feeling about this? And should we be pulling some cards here as to what perhaps the sentiment are of these MPs, including here our Prime Minister, in the last day or two, seeing this huge gathering on Parliament Hill of the small fringe minority? What's their feeling like right now?
Well, I hadn't seen that. So that looks like some of the, like ramping up for that insurrection sort of FF. Certainly. I mean, that's what they were ramping that up with in DC with the people that were in that building. You know what I'm saying? Remember? Yeah. So let's have a look, see if that's what's the intention behind that? Is that just literally real, or is that something they're ramping up on purpose?
Yeah. Is this part of the narrative to scare the normies into thinking there's actually an insurrection? Or is this their real feeling right now because they know they're on the wrong side of history?
Yeah.
And then we'll get into the military. Rex on the screen is asking or is saying, hey, US military as well as Canadian military are ready, in ready mode as we speak. And somebody else was asking, hey, where's the military in all of this, Alison Donnie? We'll get to that here in a second. So let's go back to the sentiment of our MPs here.
Okay, this is interesting. Very interesting. That doesn't look like part of I don't think they have a formal plan behind that tweet. That looks literally like fearful people who actually think they should be afraid. Unnecessarily afraid, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because these guys are only there for freedom. They're not there to cause any kind of trouble, or they're just there to make a statement. And they're coming with love.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So it feels like maybe somebody put that out there because they're literally afraid or think these guys should be afraid, or they just like stirring up fear.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because lots of people jump on and throw things out there. They just like getting in on, and there's troublemakers everywhere. They just like getting in on things because they can do it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I love the comment on the screen. The freedom variant is the new variant. Bonjour
Yeah.
from Quebec. Thank you for joining us. There was a funny tweet yesterday also that Mr. JT had caught another variant, and it was called the Coward 19 variant.
Yeah.
It was absolutely funny. So let's go back to this question of our military here. What are they doing? A lot of these guys, of course, swore an oath. That's their job. That's their life mission, to protect Canadians here. We're talking about Canada for now, from enemies without and enemies within. What's the overall feeling here of the Canadian military as they see their fellow Canadians, truckers, moms, soccer moms, everything now pointing to Parliament Hill to fight for their rights? What's the sentiment of our Canadian Army? The real people, not the top brass, the regular guys who, you know, put their lives at risk day in and day out for our safety. What are they thinking right now?
They look like they're at their wits' end, 210s, and they're getting sick of the narrative because this card says they know something's fishy. A 10 of cups like that is like false narratives that appear. Everything's okay. It's okay to bring, communism into a country without anybody's, permission. And yeah, we're just going along with it because the boss said so. You know what I mean? They're done with that. So we got 210s, okay, and they're literally watching and sitting on the fence in ready, and they come from truth and integrity themselves, or that's their intention. So they are definitely questioning it and sitting on the fence with, okay, what should we do? There might even be discussions, and this is the near future. I'm thinking if anything does go down, they're with the people with that card.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's talk about timing for them. If they're sitting on the fence now, can we ask the cards like what they're waiting for? Is it a higher percentage? Is it an astrological alignment? Because you and I were talking about the white hats last week, and we said that they weren't finding the currents. They were actually timing a lot of their work here to be in flow with the astrology. So is that perhaps also what the military forces are looking for? Or is there something else? What can the cards tell us?
I got a feeling the white hat military group or the alliance might be different than regular army. You know what I mean? There might be a separation, so we should separate that. Which one do you want to ask about?
Let's start with the white hats first. Somebody was asking, hey, where are the white hats in all of this? What's their role in the convoy? It was a question early on the screen, and I think I lost it. So let's start with that one.
Yeah.
What's the role of the white hats with the convoy for now? And then we'll go back to the timing here to the regular armed forces personnel here who have in their mission statement to protect Canadians.
Okay, they definitely had a little instigating at the very beginning. They put the idea out there for sure. Some of those people that started it might be connected, okay? Because this is like Yeah, they at the very beginning they put it out there and maybe even gave them some guidelines as to what would work best. Oh yeah, they planted all kinds of seeds there. That's in the background, and they're absolutely some. They even have some people involved in a way in the convoy itself.
Wow.
Okay. In the near future, but they're not going to take credit. They're giving all the credit to other people. They're going to stay in the background. They're not going to step forward as leaders of the convoy. I don't get they're technically the leaders of it, but they absolutely put it out there and put out some ideas, maybe sat some people down and sent them off on the mission.
Can you imagine? That's crazy. Yeah. This is day 6 of the convoy. You're seeing a recap video. Absolutely amazing. I'm going to leave these screenshots here because you're seeing all of these overpasses on the highway filled with people, town after town after town. Of course, all the small fringe minority Canadians with unacceptable views of freedom and sovereignty, Janine. Look at all these people. Absolutely
and don't forget how cold it is right now. Like these guys are in like 20 and 30 below.
It's 30 below here now. So yeah, people are on Capitol Hill right now and it's 30 below. Could you imagine? Wow. Yes. Okay. So let's go back to the second part of the question. What perhaps is the timing or is there a critical boiling point for the Canadian Armed Forces themselves? Not the white hats, but the actual people here.
Regular guys.
And a big thank you for your service to our military police and paramilitary personnel here in Canada. You guys rock.
So like I said, they're looking at it from a safe, like that's the twos are they're considering doing something, but they haven't done something about it yet. And this card says they're looking at it with a critical eye. She's very critical and she really believes in justice and truth. Okay, so they can see issues that have been going on, and they've actually, a lot of them feel heartbroken at where we got, and that could include being forced to take the you-know-whats, and or they lose their, positions and all that kind of stuff. They're feeling like they feel as hurt as the rest of the people, but then of course they're in a bit of a rock and a hard place if they're uppers are, okay with what the government's up to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they're weighing things out, and here's the near future. So we got these 2 10s in the last layout. So it feels like they're really close to the end of the facade. Okay. And then taking action, but I get it'll be with the people. And I'm thinking like maybe within the next week.
Wow.
So next, like they're just watching as things progress.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's fascinating. Let me go through some of our comments for tonight here during the show, or for today during the show. Not telling guys and gals, do you realize how over the moon, pun intended, our star families are about us awakening sovereign humans? I appreciate that. And you know what? There was another question. Somebody was asking if there was ET influence right now, perhaps behind this convoy as well. Is there a protection from the angelic realm? Is there a certain guidance as well onto what route to take or how to maybe spot some of those agents provocateurs? Are we seeing some off-world help here, maybe behind the scenes? Wow, big yes.
I think they might have put some love energy into people's hearts. Because every time, like I share all of the videos that I find about the convoy, just because mainstream media is not doing it enough. As far as I'm concerned, it should be on every single channel 24/7. It's such a big deal. And a lot of US hasn't even barely heard about it. Like we heard last night as we were on that 2-hour show we did. We were hearing that New York hadn't even heard, like nothing was ever said. And we know how deep state New York is, or it's been a real, like they've been really showing us what it looks like to be run by deep state with what's happening in New York and all over the world, pockets all over the world. But anyway, so nobody had even heard about it. And then finally somebody got it to some journalist who was actually doing their job, and then word got out and things started to circulate, but not on mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think they're coming into people's hearts and giving heart energy for the whole thing, and the wherewithal and waking up enough people, just regular folks, to, like, when you see that, you just go, oh my goodness, this is good. Like, you'd have to be so asleep to think the silly stories that this is just a small fringe group. If you actually watch the videos, if you still think that, then you're not very bright and your heart's closed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're helping open people's hearts, and I'm bringing some heart energy, which we know they've been doing all along, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Deanna saying, interesting if Canada frees the US. We'll get to that in a second. I appreciate that comment. Ben, the comment about the ETs. Okay, thank you so much for that. Also, it was this one here. And Stardust, I have unacceptable views and I'm proud of it. Thank you. Join the fringe minority here on YouTube.
Unacceptable.
Yes, unacceptable we are. Imagine that. Okay. Where do I go from here? Marge, I think is the name. Did Trudeau, and see if I can bring that up on the screen, quarantine to buy time for perhaps some of this quote unquote nasty people planning? Is that what he's doing? Or is he hiding in a sense so he doesn't have to face the crowd? Because now we're expecting the speeches. Sorry, there's still convoys, basically. I'm just looking at my other deck here. There's convoys in Arnprior from last night, and they're making, so not everybody's here. Apparently, only 5% of the truckers are already here in Ottawa. So that's a very small number compared to what's coming. And so they're trying to decide which day here they're going to hold most of the speeches. Now, originally it was Sunday, then we heard it could be Monday. Now it could be tomorrow, Sunday again. We're not sure. But at any rate, it was Mr. T here hiding, or why don't we ask the cat, why is he hiding? What's going on here? Oh. Wow.
Because he's freaked out. Ah!
Yeah.
So the double, or whoever that is running scared. You can't say anything else about it. That's running scared. And also a lot of the stories around what he's up to are false. So it's just made up. I think the shadow governments made those things up to make them look bad. Come on. Like, they're doing the same thing as they do with Mr. B in the US. It's a puppet. The guy's a puppet. Yeah.
Wow.
No person in their right mind who is actually running a country who'd got into as much trouble as Mr. T, Canada, Mr. T has got himself into, would in their right mind be behaving the way he is right now. Think about it. If he ever wanted to be like go in public in Canada again, I mean, he would, like, without being, the L word. The guys, like, it can't be that's part of the movie, guys.
Well, let's play part of that movie here too. And folks, if you guys have any specific questions for Janine and I, please put them in high caps. It's a little bit easier for me to bring up on the screen here. And I want to take some of your questions here too, because as we're Janine and I doing this, we're doing it from 2 points of views. And what we want to do is to do it from a couple of thousand points of views. And so it's interesting that we can come together and look at this way, as opposed to what the mainstream media typically tells you. They're bringing one point of view, and it's the official point of view to bear when they do coverage. And what I'm trying to do is expand all of those points of views with you, the audience. So your questions are absolutely welcome, and your comments also. You do have to realize there's a lot of people in the chat. I might not see them. I'm doing my best to bring them on the screen. Now, Janine, how was your heart feeling today? Because I know you posted quite a few videos of older people here baking cookies, baking muffins. So we're seeing that end of the spectrum supporting this fringe minority. And we're also seeing the kids producing all of these amazing videos on Instagram, TikTok. How's your heart feeling today with all of this?
Yeah, overwhelmed a little. And on top of it, I haven't slept too good for a couple of nights. So I'm a little bit like, but I absolutely, I'm kind of, when I'm not feeling tired, I'm super excited. That's what's keeping me going, how excited I am.
Very cool. So I'm looking at now Freedom Convoy 2022. Guys, if you want to follow these guys here, this is their official Instagram account. For as long as it's going to be there, but so far they have not been touched. And you know, something was really funny, and I forgot to, there were so many things we could have brought on the show last night. We were doing our best to collate all of this for you guys. But I mean, it's just overwhelming how fast everything's coming. And it's just Janine and I. So, and right now, yes, I do have a helper as a line producer here helping me on today to try to bring all of this content for you. But yesterday, so I'm going to continue letting this Freedom Convoy 2022 play here in the background. But yesterday, it also came out. We were talking about the fundraising here. So on one hand, you have the mainstream media telling you, oh, this is a fringe minority group. And within a couple of days, they had raised $6 or $7 million, whereas the Trudeau government, the Liberal Trudeau government, over the course of months and months and months, had only raised $3 million. So who's the minority here? Think about that, Janine. And if I can see that poster, I'll bring it up because I thought it was absolutely pertinent. What can you share about that, Janine?
Well, and the bold-faced lie that that person playing Mr. T Canada style, that lie that he said, not only about the fringe, but also about the numbers of people that have been, he said 90% are on board with that and have been this. It's like, come on. I'm thinking not.
Yeah. Here's the actual tweet that you tweeted yesterday, Janine. The truckers for Freedom Convoy have raised at that point $6 million in 2 weeks from over 77,000 individuals. Absolutely amazing. Whereas the Liberal Party raised $3.5 million in the first 3 months of 2021 with only 33. So who's the minority? Mr. T. That's absolutely mind-boggling. And of course, the media won't tell you this, but it'd be so glaring for people like, wait, where's the support lie right now? Well, the support is behind the truckers. And that $6 million probably stopped after the GoFundMe campaign froze them. So who knows what it would be now if that was still on. Wow. Okay, let me see if I can find more of those questions here. I believe I have some help. Let me see. Hold on. This is going by really fast. Is the bomb cyclone natural or man-made? Ooh, good question. I saw that earlier today. We have this weird weather front. I think it was being reported on Zero Hedge. Janine, I'll bring that up. So is there perhaps, the questioner is asking here, is there perhaps weather manipulation here to maybe try to prevent some of this convoy or for the people to actually be out braving the cold? Is that possible here? Weather manipulation. This is the bomb cyclone here, starting to batter the northwest. Great question, Jean Whittle.
I think some of it's caused by manipulation. And this card says it might have been put in place a long time ago. So this happens to coincide unless, like I said, they can look forward in time. Watch the movie Deja Vu with, Denzel Washington. That, I guess it's an older movie. I thought it was recent, but it's not. It's older. Anyway, so secretly put in place a long time ago. Interesting. So like I'm telling you, they must know these things ahead. Think about the Simpsons doing that. Like, how would they know? Some truckers would. There's manipulation going on here all over the place. This is very interesting. Okay. Anyway, and this card here. So yeah, there's manipulation definitely with the weather.
Okay, very good. So let me play this clip again. I tried last night, but for some reason I lost the screen. It was stopping midway as if somebody didn't want me to play it. So yes, 1999, The Simpsons on the truck convoy. Let me bring that volume up and see if I can make this work this time around, because it's absolutely funny. Okay, hold on. There we go.
Look, son, it's one of nature's most beautiful sights, the convoy.
Okay. They're even making that politician, well, he kind of looks like Trudeau. and he's behaving like a vampire. Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay, next question. Nick, is the convoy going to DC after this? We had
Ooh.
reports of that yesterday in the news. We brought it up. There's some reports on Twitter, Instagram also. Interesting. And it goes with another question so far. So, Vicky, let me bring this up. She says, so far, 17 states have joined Canada's convoys, others at the border. And somebody's also asking, we'll put all this in together here. Will this spread over the world to stop the agenda? So, the trucker convoy. So, let's lump all that in. Will it go across the world? And will it also converge on DC? What can the cards tell us?
So we've got the star and the, so it feels like it's really waking and opening people up. It's like, it's almost like our humanness is being exposed, or we remembered to be human.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's definitely doing that. A lot of people are becoming like getting involved in various different ways. There's a generosity to that card. But then this card happens. So I don't think it'll, it's still up in the air how big it'll go, how many will get on board. There could be a lot of logistics there,
Mm-hmm.
finances and things like that. Okay. But I think it might, some of them might end up, or maybe the US will have their own convoy go to DC, because that feels like that's a possibility, because this is my Mr. T USA card. But then the way it's looking here with this, I feel like when this card came up, I feel like there's going to be another diversion that takes everybody's attention away from the convoy, and it has something to do with Trump.
Well, that's interesting because you just mentioned finances also in the last Astro Woo episode we did for February. It's a big month for finance. And Charles is asking, has this situation have anything to do with silver price explosion? So let's tie that in. The convoy, the rebellion, the new dollar perhaps, and what's going to happen to silver. What can we pull from the cards on that? Thank you, Charles. That's a great question.
Wow. The convoy is speeding up the coming down of the old system, that you better believe it. It's opened people's hearts and they're starting to follow their true heart. And of course, humans want to be free beings. They don't want to walk around enslaved with facial coverings.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to be ostracized from play. They like to be free. So it's speeding up everything that would bring more freedom. Okay, and that could include, because you asked about silver and everything, we know that's, I think, personally put in place by the universe to help people eventually recoup financially.
Right.
I think, but also like the crashing of the fiat dollar, the whole crashing of the deep state, the dark cult. I mean, that's been going on here for a couple of years, probably since, well, probably since that September date in 2001. Like there, and maybe even before that, there's been a group that's put together. We call them the Alliance. We've eventually started calling them the White Hats, and they've been working in the background to change everything. And they tried it a couple of times, hasn't worked, but this time it looks like it's working.
Right. Wow.
I think that, yeah, I think the whole, everything that's happening seems to be like helping this, the old system crash, going to go down, and time for the new. And when we look at what Julie was getting in her astrology, like it's time. The stuff can't hold anymore. The old system's going down, and we've been seeing it for a while, but it's pretty dramatic right now.
Right. Well, Charles, thank you for that question on the silver price explosion. And folks, if you haven't seen this episode now, please do go check it out. It's on our pay-per-view. You're looking for the Astro Woo Finance, a personal zodiacs guide for February 2022. And the dates there are absolutely incredible. Everything is converging there, as Janine is saying. Great work to Julie. And if you guys want to book a reading with her lovely sister who does tarot readings, you can do so at maisonjupiter.com. And there is also a 10% discount code if you guys are looking for your personalized birth chart in order to get the maximum out of these zodiac readings here for your finances here in September. So do go check that out. And on the question of silver, Janine and I are giving away 2 100-ounce silver bars here. So we have 2 different giveaways going on. One for the USA counterpart audience. So please join that at silver-USA. Let me bring the link back down in the live chat for you guys here. So you don't have to buy anything, guys. You have to be 18 years of age. We will be announcing the winner of this PAMP 100-ounce Swiss bar here on February 9th. And for our Canadian viewers, we are giving away a 100-ounce bar from the Royal Canadian Mint. Again, no purchase necessary, must be 18 and older, and we'll announce the winner on February 9th. So all you have to do is fill out your address and your email here so we know where to send this to you if you are one of those lucky winners. And we might have a very special guest announce those winners on February 9. Janine, how do you feel about giving away silver? And talk about the faces of the people to whom you give silver during Christmas. Real money, sound money. Yeah. What reaction did they have?
Well, I think they liked it a lot. But I did have to do some explaining about what it would be worth soon. And I said, hang on to it and don't trade it in for dollars now. And I gave it mostly to young, so nieces and nephews that I would normally run out and get a little something for. And, this better than socks or what I usually get them.
Right. Very good. So guys, if you're looking at adding some physical silver or gold to your stack, please check out this last special here. I had Mr. Bill Holter himself on the episode last week. So you're looking at beyondmystic.net/hi-ho silver for these American silver specials. So let me bring that one down to the live chat as well. And finally, for our Canadians, we now have a Canadian affiliate with MF Bullion Canada. And this week for the Beyond Mystic audience, we have the 1-ounce Phil Harmonics. These are the 2021 at $569 over spot. Absolutely an amazing price. So do go check that out. Silver is, in fact, freedom, and so is sound money. And we'll get to more of these financial episodes as we move in here. But this freedom and this removal of the parasite that is basically siphoning off our energy is underway. So at some point here, humanity is going to be facing the recreation of our organic economies, and silver and gold are absolutely a big part of that, and also some of the cryptocurrencies. So education is best. And I love what you just said. You had to educate the kids here to understand what it is that you were giving them and how absolutely precious it was. So it behooves all of us here to share that education with the audience. Now, let me go back, Janine, see if there's more questions. In the meantime, I'll bring this Parliament Hill here. Still, again, maybe 5 or 6%. That's it. There's still truckers on the way. So this is going to be absolutely amazing. I saw some footages last night. I'm trying to find them now, where all of these, basically the cops are removing all of the main traffic so that these truckers can come in to the Golden Triangle here, as we call it. And they're double, triple, quadruple parked here on Wellington Street in front of the Parliament. Absolutely beautiful cooperation. And so far, very peaceful, and you can tell the energy is really high. People are excited, even though it's minus 30 out there. So I might be going out there tomorrow, Sunday, or Monday, or all of them. I want to be doing some what you call man on the street interviews. And so my friend here has put up this nice poster. I'll be out there with the bullhorn trying to have some fun with the audience and connect with my fellow Canadians here and ask them why they're here in Ottawa and why perhaps they're proud of being the small fringe minority on Parliament Hill. So look out for that. Maybe this afternoon, maybe tomorrow and Monday, or all of the above. We'll see how we can plan all of this right now. It is a bit tricky getting downtown. I'm about an hour away at any rate, but I want to be there for sure for the speeches. So I'm going to be paying attention this afternoon to see what time that is going to be.
And I will be putting posters up as soon as that is. And Janine, I'll find a way also to be able to stream cast you also with me live. I can do that on my phone as long as we have enough bandwidth. But I'm suspecting it might be an issue with that many people pinging the same cell phone towers around Parliament. So we'll see. I might have to record them and then go back home and upload them here to YouTube. So please do stay tuned for that. Okay, I'm looking at the questions list here. GoFundMe is active now. Wow, they're at 8 million and 101 donors and counting. Yes, I heard either this morning or late last night that GoFundMe backtrack and unfroze their account. I'm not sure that's true, but I did see that yesterday. That's really, really good news.
Yeah.
Wow.
Probably because of all the people that wrote. Everyone was encouraged to write to them. I wrote a little note. There was like a little spot you could do it. I can't remember. I shared it anyway. And you could say exactly, like you could use what they had said and just add your name, or you could add a few comments. That's what I did and sent it along.
That's great news. Let me see if I can find that. GoFundMe has released 1 million. Okay, so they're parsing it out, Janine. So it's a step forward. But okay, this is CBC News reporting that GoFundMe has released 1 million, more than 6 million raised to protest. Yeah, okay. Not there yet, but it's a step in the right direction. So that's interesting. Very good for you guys. And I hope somebody in the organizers, guys, if you can think about that, let me bring up again here the Freedom Convoy 2022 Instagram page. Let me bring that link also down so you guys can go and follow them on Instagram. Perhaps there, somebody organizing that could set up a crypto PayPal tip jar to avoid some of this. And there's a lot of people out there in the freedom community who are into crypto. So if you guys can figure that out for the truckers, that would be absolutely amazing. JC, the creator of The Simpsons, Matt Groening, is high up in the Freemasons. Of course, we're talking about all of this predictive stuff in The Simpsons last night. Yeah, absolutely cool. Cassandra, Janine, how will this affect the supply chain for average Canadians? So is the fact that all these truckers now are doing this as opposed to doing the transports of goods and services to our local stores and to our doorsteps, is that going to affect maybe supply for a little while? And of course, we're not saying they caused it. The government caused it with this vaccine mandate for the truckers and all of these lockdowns. But is this going to maybe exacerbate some of these supply chain problems here for the next couple of days and weeks?
It'll get kind of scary here. In particular, in the next 9 days or over the next 9 days, you'll start to really feel it. Okay, but then this feels like I keep getting there's going to be another thing go down, and it involves the U.S. and Mr. T, Trump. So there's going to be, and then that's going to further put things in a really interesting position, make us a little vulnerable to shortages. Okay, but over the long haul, things get back on track in about 2 to 4 weeks. I'm thinking, like they start to. So these guys must be done by then and back working or something like that. But in the meantime, something's going down with the U.S. that could put the U.S. in some kind of jeopardy around shortages and stuff like that to make them a little bit vulnerable. So like all of the truthers community has been told for months and months and months, we've been saying, keep at least a couple of weeks worth of extra. Stock up on especially your favorite things or things that, you know, survival type things. So you don't run out of those at least. And, but I don't get disastrous in the cards. It just looks like, it'll get a little worrisome. And it's in other places in the world where they've already seen it.
Right. And I wonder if that has to do with the USA, the 222s, the return, some of this alignment also. So it seems to be all converging at the same time. Absolutely fascinating. Guys, again, go check out that last Astro Wu Finance episode for more of those details. This is Rebel News reporting here. The reel is on again, the Freedom Convoy Rally 2022. You can see, wow, Parliament Hill is busy right now. That's really, really interesting. Another question. Janine, we're 48 minutes in. We'll try to round this up here in the next couple of minutes. We're a little bit longer than we wanted, but this is really cool so far. And guys, if you like what we're doing,
tell us in the chat. Say, hey, we love you, JC. We love you, Janine. This is a lot of work putting all of this together, and of course, if I have to go there on the grounds and report, also it's a lot of work. So I need your encouragement. So let us know how much you love us. Just put it in the live stream now. I had another question asking the most important thing. Okay, yes, this is important. Julia, let's ask the cards. What's the most important things we Ottawans can do to help the convoy? So specifically here, people in Ottawa, what can we do to help this convoy?
Oh, get the word out to as many people as you can to stop so cease and desist all mandates. So let that just start already behaving like everything's finished. Just don't wear those things no matter what. Just say, hey, there's a whole convoy as big as the world's ever seen on the behalf of us not having to do these things anymore. So get on board. Like, have a little speech ready. You might even want to write it up. I've been thinking about writing it up because it says, get the word out that you're done. It's dead in the water, you guys. That's like, act like it already is, because that's what they want. So if everyone just, and also tell your restaurant people that own restaurants, and if they're listening, people that own restaurants, I was thinking about in Calgary, I would write something up and say, okay, here's what's going on. Get on board and draw all your, because if everyone does it, they can't shut every place down all at once. Mm-hmm. So let's all do this. What the truckers are doing, let's everybody else get on board. That would support what they're doing, because they want all mandates dropped. So let's drop them already.
Yeah.
We're the ones doing them.
Yeah, exactly.
And people that own businesses, what the heck? If all these people are for this movement, then they're your customers. Drop all the stupidity. Just do it now.
Mm-hmm. And what's interesting also here in Ottawa, Maxime Bernier, another thing we can do here is ask everyone to force basically the government to rehire all of those real public service people, the people who actually offer service to the people here, to rehire them, those who had taken a personal decision for their health. So again, kudos to Maxime here for the public service personnel here. Okay, Janine, so to my line producer here, is there anything else I'm missing? Please put it in the private chat on the side. If there's anything else, news breaking that perhaps is interesting for this show, so we can close on that. If not, maybe other personal questions that I've missed that you think is absolutely important for me to bring. And while I wait for that, Janine, can we pull cards here and see what universe has to tell us here for the next 24 hours? You and I are going to be trying to do these reports here every day for as long as we can, and for as long as it makes sense to do so and it is pertinent to do so. So let's pull some cards here for the next 24 hours. What do we need to know? What do we need to watch for? Where do we need to put our energies collectively to help support this momentum for freedom?
Wow. It's like a breakthrough for integrity and truth. If you think you're feeling good now, like in the next 24 hours, you'll feel even a bigger breakthrough, some kind of truth breakthrough. That's a real feel-good moment here. It's going to be beautiful. And it leads directly to the end of all of this BS that's been going on.
Wow.
Yeah, it's doing the complete flip.
Wow.
It's like, they can't keep this up here. They can't keep this up. Like they're barely hanging on him, giving him 8 hours, and something goes down. They just can't keep up. Something's going to break here. I don't know what I mean by that, but there's some.
Well, let me bring that up on the screen. So thank you to the line producer here. They're saying a lot of questions people are asking. Hey, could it be that it's the Trump rally that might be an instigator here that kind of breaks the news or that switches the narrative as you're speaking? So Jill is asking on the screen, and there's quite a few more people asking about that. So let's ask the cards. Is Mr. T here going to be helping changing the channel? Is he part of this breakthrough here that you keep seeing that could pop up here very soon?
Oh yeah. Whoops. He's going to say something that totally flips the narrative in the US too.
Wow.
Bringing something out. So he's got a really important thing. So watch carefully, because we know how tricky he is with words. watch carefully. I'll definitely be looking into that tomorrow on Sending Ravens, what he says. But I won't be able to do it for the Tarot by Janine because I always do that the night before, so I wouldn't have watched it yet. But this card says he's going to say something that flips everything there. So I think this is like the domino that everything falls by. I mean, there's been a lot of dominoes, but this one's really pushing it.
Wow. Okay. Exciting times. Well, folks, this is so if you're not here, if you're around the world somewhere and you don't know why these people are so dressed up, it is minus 40 right now in Ottawa.
Minus 40.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, minus 30. It was minus 4. It was 37 something this morning without the wind shear. So I'm sure we
my
minus
goodness.
40 last night. But yeah. So this is what it looks like to be brave and to be Canadian. And of course, we are the Lions. And when we wake up, you can hear us roar. And we are roaring now across the planet. So this is what it looks like. A big thank you here to Rebel News with this live pan. And also, please do go and support our friends here at Freedom Convoy 2022. Let me bring that link again down for you guys so you can go subscribe and follow the news there for yourself as well. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here today. Really appreciate your energy and also your psychicness and your great questions so that we can bring all of these different points of views together so that we don't get duped once again. So many times in our history, we got to these critical points and then we get duped for here's the new boss, same as the old boss, or whatever their playbook used to be. We can't afford that this time around. And this is why we need to bring all eyes on the situation and all of these different points of view. So a big thank you, everyone, for watching us. And please stay tuned in the next day or two, perhaps even this afternoon, to see this poster come up. I will be making my way here to Parliament Hill and interviewing the man and the women and the children on the street, so to speak. So I can't wait to be with you there in person. In the meantime, guys, please do remember to like, share, and subscribe. I'm almost at 63,000. It's funny, yesterday I got an email from YouTube telling me your subscribers might come down a little bit here because there's a lot of spam and we're cleaning up. So, okay, I've never had that message from them before. So apparently now they're worried about spam fake accounts subscribing to me, JeanClaude. So, okay.
Hilarious.
Sure. All right. And in the meantime, you can also go and subscribe here to Tarot by Janine and Sending Ravens here on YouTube. That's yesterday's episode. So do go check that out to understand here why the astrology for the next couple of days are absolutely critical. So that's Sending Ravens on YouTube. And this was the Siege of Ottawa Freedom Convoy special updates with Janine and JeanClaude. I love you guys. Have a great day. And we'll see you on Parliament Hill. Au revoir.
Au revoir.